9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
Pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center, carrying our OneWeb payload. Now during ascent, we will tilt the engines, technically called gimbaling, and that'll turn the rocket horizontally slightly in what we call a gravity turn.
Nominal power and telemetry.
So we're still going up, but we're also going horizontally away from the launch pad. You can see a beautiful sunset view of that ascent of Falcon 9.
Vehicle supersonic.
Now in just a couple minutes, we will be throttling the engines down in preparation for max Q, or the maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Max Q.
We just passed through that moment. Now the first stage, or any rocket, typically needs to go about 17,500 miles per hour horizontally in order to avoid being pulled back down to Earth and actually make it into orbit. So you can keep an eye on that stage 1 telemetry on that bottom left-hand side of your screen. Looks like we're going about 2,500 miles per hour right now and increasing rapidly. In a little under a minute here, we will have 5 events coming up in quick succession. So it'll start with main engine cutoff of the first stage, followed by stage separation, a stage 1 flip as it prepares to do the boost back burn, second engine startup 1, where the second stage MVAC engine will ignite, and then the start of that first stage boost back burn. Beautiful views from that camera tracking the Falcon 9. Now we're coming up for main engine cutoff in just a few seconds, and watch out for those 5 events.
Nico.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition.
Boost back startup.
Wow, what an incredible view. There you heard and you see in these incredible views from Falcon 9 first and second stages, that main engine cutoff, stage separation, the first stage flip, second engine startup, and that boost back burn where the plumes from that first and second stage were creating that beautiful light show in the sky. Now that first stage boost back burn is in progress, but it'll end here in just under 10 seconds.
Stage 1 boost back shutdown.
That was the end of the stage 1 boost back burn. And here coming up shortly, we should have fairing deployment from our second stage.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There's fairing separation. You can see that attitude
Both
control
vehicles are following
system.
nominal trajectories.
The attitude control system on that first stage, creating those beautiful plumes in the sky on those views from your left. Now we did have confirmation of a good fairing separation for both of our fairing halves, and this is the 5th and 6th flight of those fairing halves today, and we will be attempting to retrieve them once more when they fall back down to Earth using our recovery ship, Doug. Now here at T plus 4 minutes and 20 seconds into today's mission, we are in the first of 2 planned MVAC burns ahead of satellite deployment. At T plus 6 minutes and 4 seconds, you should see the first stage's entry burn. And we're currently watching some beautiful light show performances from the first stage as it is making its way back down to Earth. with those plumes coming from our attitude control system, which is nitrogen cold gas thrusters near the top of the first stage. Now for the entry burn coming up in about a minute, we will relight 3 of our 9 M1D engines. So it'll start with the center engine, followed shortly by the E1 and E5 engines. First stage really putting on a beautiful, incredible show there. Now we do that entry burn of the first stage to slow the vehicle down and help reduce re-entry forces to help us recover and reuse that first stage. First stage and second stage continue to look healthy. We are about 30 seconds away from the start of our entry burn on the first stage, and this will be about a 20-second burn of 3 of our M1D engines to slow that.
Stage 2 following nominal trajectory.
To slow that first stage down as it re-enters the thicker parts of the Earth's atmosphere. Hopefully we'll get some really beautiful views from the first stage there on the left.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
There is the start of our first stage entry burn, as you can see. Now you can see that first stage flying through that entry burn plume, which deposits that soot on the first stage.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Did to get that call out for a good entry
Stage 1
burn.
FTS is saved.
Stage 2 continues to be on a nominal trajectory. We are getting some spotty camera connectivity, but everything is looking good from stage 2 telemetry. You can see the first stage is coming down back towards landing zone 1, and we will start our landing burn of that first stage in just about 10 seconds here. You can see the Cape Canaveral coast on your screen
Stage
on the
2
right.
FTS is saved.
Entry transonic.
There is that start of our first stage landing burn.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Really incredible views from the first stage.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy. Stage 1 landing approach.
As you can see from that beautiful video from
Stage 2 is internal guidance.
the first stage, we did have a successful landing of the first stage booster back on landing zone 1, and this landing marks the 145th recovery of a Falcon 9 first stage. Now, in just a few seconds here, we will have second engine cut off 1 of the second stage. We are getting a little bit of some spotty video connections, but you did see the second stage briefly there in the midst of that first burn. We should have SECO 1 here shortly.
MVAC shutdown.
There is that second engine cutoff, or MVAC shutdown 1. And we are just waiting for confirmation of a good orbital insertion from the second stage.
Expected loss of signal, Cape.
You heard the call out. We are in a period of loss of signal from the Cape, but hopefully we will regain connectivity here shortly.
Nominal orbit insertion.
We did just get that confirmation of a nominal orbital insertion, but the mission isn't over yet. The second stage is now embarking on its first coast phase.